Hey folks, Kevin Harding here with Victory100. I've got Jeff Nicholls with me. You can't see him because there's just two of us on the hangout today, and when there's two people, you just see the one when he or she is speaking. But guys, we've got a special training for you today. Jeff is going to talk to you here in a few minutes about relationship marketing, and isn't everything about having a good relationship when you're trying to have a personal relationship with somebody, just a neighbor, a friend. It's about that relationship. Whether you're trying to sell something, it's about that relationship and forming that bond. And so Jeff's going to talk to us about relationship marketing. And then I'm going to share with you when Jeff's done, and it's all related, I'm going to share with you the 100-year-old, I say 100, it's thousands of years old secret, the Redwood secret to growth, and I'm going to share that with you towards the end of the hangout after Jeff speaks. But guys, if this is your first time to Victory100, we are a social media management platform, a tool that helps you manage your social media business or life. You don't have to have a business to use our tools and our products. But if you've got an online business, if you've got a retail business, if you've got a service business, if you're selling pool maintenance, it doesn't matter what you're selling or providing, you can use Victory100 tools to help you manage your online identity, your online promotions as well. So guys, excited that you're here, and I'm going to go ahead and hand it on over to Jeff. Jeff, talk to us about, Jeff was sharing with me just a few minutes ago some of the things he was going to talk about, and some of them I haven't, a Girl Scout reference, I haven't heard that before, and it makes total sense. So guys, get out one of these right here, which is a pen. Get out a piece of paper. Take some notes. And if you miss anything, this video will be available directly after we finish at the exact same location as you're watching it right now. So, Jeff, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's interesting. You and I were talking a day or two ago, and just kind of talking about what we wanted to cover, and recently I read an article that the headline was "Relationship Marketing is Dead," and I read through it, and what I realized is that depends really on your definition of relationship marketing. You know, you gotta think about relationship marketing really as, you know, what it is. It's building that relationship. Here's the truth: we can look at relationship marketing both inside the box and outside the box. You know, the part of it that we all know, it's somebody that we like, somebody that we have a relationship with, and so we tend to think of that. So that might be the restaurant that you go to all the time because you know the wait staff or the chef or that type of thing. You know, here's the truth: most of us buy all of our insurance from the very same agent all the time. And that doesn't mean that there aren't other people that sell the same insurance, or maybe somebody that sells a better insurance, but you have that relationship with that agent. And as Kevin mentioned, I talked about Girl Scouts. You know, we all buy Girl Scout cookies because they're our neighbors' children. You know, for the most part, you're buying those cookies, with the exception of the Thin Mints that you're going to stick in the freezer. You're buying those cookies because there's a relationship with the parents or with the child. And then outside the box a little bit, it might be somebody that you don't have a really personal relationship with, but there's a trust issue there. They've kind of given you, it's gotten to a point where you believe in them, you believe in what they say, you trust them, and you purchase from them for that reason. My stockbroker, you know, we buy stocks from him. Don't have a very close personal relationship, but really trust in what he says. Why? You know, quite often you're going to buy wine from someone because you trust in what they say. You have a belief in it. It might be somebody at your local wine store, or you know, the waiter that tells you a little bit about wines, but you trust them, that they've done something to give you that amount of trust, and that's a relationship as well. Or, you know, a lot of us go to movies because either a friend told us about it. That's certainly a relationship, but in a lot of cases there might be a particular critic that, you know, every time they talk about a movie, you know, you kind of agree with them. Or again, it could be movies, anything else. You've got a relationship. It's not the classic one we always think of, but you've got a real relationship with them. There are certain critics I know that if they say a movie's great, it's one of those touchy-feely, I'm going to learn kind of movies, and I honestly, I go to a movie to be entertained. There are other critics that are, clearly just like me, and so when they tell me about a movie and they say it's a great movie, chances are I'm going to enjoy it as well. And so that's a relationship. It's not the kind of relationship we always think of, but that's still a relationship, and it really drives a lot of our buying decisions. When people say relationship marketing is dead, they mean really that the lazy way, the easy out kind of relationship marketing. What I mean by that is, emailing a bunch of people and telling them to buy your stuff. They haven't heard from you in forever. You might have a relationship with them, but you're just hitting them harder, or going to social media, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, and posting constantly sales. Those people. Every day when you wake up, you pull up your Facebook, and it's about buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. You're really abusing the relationship there, and that kind of relationship marketing is dead. It really honestly never worked, and it certainly doesn't work now because a lot of people are doing it. Here's the truth. If the Girl Scout came to your door every day, each and every day, day after day after day, eventually they will exhaust, they'll burn out that relationship, and you'd stop buying from them because you had a whole freezer full of Thin Mints and you just don't need anymore. And again, the relationship is gone. It's relationships, when it comes to a lot of our purchasing decisions, because we don't always have a really close personal relationship, it's because we like and trust that person, and that like and trust has come over time, and that's really what drives a lot of our buying decisions. And the truth is, you've got to build that relationship. If you expect people to purchase from you, you've got to build that relationship. You've got to give them value. That's really the key. It's a two-way street. If it's all about you, they're not going to buy. If it's about them, if it's focused on what their needs and their wants are, you need to find common ground, and that's the start of that relationship. And then constantly give them information that's important to them, that touches what they need, what they feel, gives them a good feeling about themselves, whatever it is. You've got to build that relationship, and in many cases you want to build authority. You want to get them to feel that whatever you say, just like buying wine or buying stocks, you want them to believe that whatever you say is probably right when it comes to that particular topic. You want to build up your authority, and you do that by constantly giving them good information. It doesn't have to all be yours. In fact, most of it doesn't have to be yours. But if you are the one that brings to them articles and blogs and videos and those types of things that really, really teach them and tell them something, then that relationship, you've become that authority. You've really proven to them that they should listen to you when it comes to whatever that topic is, whether you're in real estate or selling flowers, like Kevin said, or pretty much anything else. That's a relationship. It may not be a close personal relationship, but it's a business relationship. And so let's talk a little bit about what Victory brings to the table when it comes to building relationships. You can abuse it. You can use it improperly, no question about it. But it's built really, the structure of this thing is brilliant. When you talk about the sales funnel, you may have heard me say before that the sales funnel is broken. And the problem is, just going back to exactly what we talked about, people are not properly bringing people into that sales funnel. And if you don't have them come into the sales funnel and like you and trust you and see you as an authority, then you're just not going to go through that step process to get them to the point where they want to buy. When you take Prime and Spin, those are our social media posting engines, and dual posting engines, dual sharing engines, and what they allow you to do is really give people content, give them articles, give them videos, give them information that's about them. It's about what they're interested in, what they need. It might be about their house, it might be about travel, it might be about social media, it might be about business, it might be about anything, but that's key. It's got to be about them, their needs, their wants. And you want to really make sure that the majority of the time that you're talking to them, and the nice thing about Prime and Spin is it's automated. You can automate it for weeks, months in advance, and so you've always got that content. You can go in every once in a while and just plug in a bunch of really, really good articles that you find from lots of different magazines. There are, if you look at the web, there are hundreds, thousands of places that you can get really, really good content, in addition to anything that you would personally write, that you can get to them. But you're building that authority, you're building that relationship, and giving them the information. Now remember, the 80-20 rule needs to apply here. 80% of the time you need to be giving them information that they absolutely want and need. 20% of the time you can suggest that they ask for more or kind of ask for the order, if you will. But part of this process isn't just simply asking for the order. You want to move them to a little bit of a different relationship. And to do that, what you're doing is you're capturing the information of the people who really do want more information. And for that, we've got our landing pages, the lead capture page generator that you can create custom landing pages. And what you're doing there is you're just simply saying, if you want more information on this, or if you want a particular article or something that has to do with it, just give me your email address, give me your name, and I'll get you more information. And really that's a way of sorting through those people and getting those really core folks that do want more information. And our landing page generator does an amazing job of that, so that you can capture that email address. And once you capture that email address, then you want to nurture that relationship. You want to send them a follow-up. And to do that, we have autoresponders, and that's exactly what they do. They automatically respond day after day, week after week, month after month. And what you're doing is you're continuing to give them really great information. You're also going to, on a regular basis, you're going to give them an opportunity to make that purchase, but it's going to be not up front. It's not going to be in their face. It's going to be soft. And you're constantly building that authority. You're constantly building that relationship. And what you're going to find is over time, you know, the magazine and the catalog folks have learned this. You just constantly put a little bit out there in front of them on a regular basis, and eventually they will buy. And that's exactly what this nurturing does. You're building that relationship even more, and you're asking for the order very softly, and eventually they will make a decision that they now like you, they trust you, and they want to work with you, and so they will do that. And lastly, our targeted email system. Really, that's for just the situation where you want to send out something for a special event, for you know, just a targeted email to say, hey, you know, I've got something really special I need to tell you about, or you might want to take a look at this. That's going to be more focused on the sale. That's going to be more focused on getting them to make that decision. But you've already built the relationship over a long period of time, so you're not going to insult them. You're not going to offend them when you do that, because you've built that trust. You've built that relationship. And that's, to me, that's the beauty. There are a lot more aspects to it. There's engagement. That we have the ability to do with this. There's a lot more to this Victory100 platform, but really the key is, you know, attracting your audience through prime and spend. It's once you build that relationship, you engage with them, you know, you invite them to find out more with the landing pages. You nurture the relationship with the autoresponders, and if they haven't already made a decision, you ask for the decision. You convert them through the targeted email system, and truthfully, then you use that entire system to constantly reinforce that relationship, so that they become a cheerleader for you, so that they're talking about you, they're telling their friends about you, so that you bring more people into the front end of that, more people start to look at you and like you and follow you in your social media, so that then you can move them through that sales funnel. The sales funnel for many people is broken, but if you're using Victory100, it just absolutely works. Kevin, I'm gonna send it back over to you.
Hey Jeff, thanks so much. I really enjoyed that, and I took a lot from it. Hopefully you guys did as well. Again, if you need to rewatch it, it'll be available shortly here after I finish up. You know, the Redwood Secret to Growth, and I was just reading up a little bit. I've done this, gosh, quite a while ago, and wanted to mention it again because it's so true. I'm going to give you a little bit of a history about the redwood tree, and then I'll tell you kind of along the way why I believe it's important, and how it kind of is very similar when it comes to network marketing and relationship business, or just relationships in general. But first of all, if you haven't heard of the redwood tree, it is the largest, it's the tallest tree in the world. Redwood trees can go in excess of 20 feet in diameter, not circumference, but diameter, 20 feet wide. They grow as tall as 375 feet. That's taller than the Statue of Liberty. That's getting up there. So, and I think the oldest redwood tree right now is over 2,000 years old. This tree living today is over 2,000 years old, and they date back. I mean, redwood trees were here when the dinosaurs were on Earth as well. So that kind of gives you a little bit of history, how strong they are, how resistant they are to climate change or weather. So they're big, big trees, and I'm going to explain why they have lasted so long, why they thrive, where they get their strength from. One of the things that's so important to the health of a redwood is the climates, the conditions around the tree, where the tree is, and that's why you mainly see them on the coastal areas in California and coastal areas or in a valley area in China. Those are the two predominant places that you're going to. Now you might find some here and there in other areas, but those are really where they thrive the most. It's about conditions. It's about having the right temperature. It's about having the right soil conditions. It's about having enough moisture in the air as well. So those three things are very important to the life of a redwood tree. And so let's try and relate that to us, to everyday people trying to get by. Well, let's talk about network marketing or direct sales or whatever business you're in. It's all about relationships. And so this tree has a relationship with the soil, with the temperature, and with the moisture, with how much rain and just the moisture in the air, the fog. That it's not just about rain and the water going up into the tree. It's about actually having fog and that moisture in the air getting on the needles at the very top of the tree as well. So if we try and relate that back to us, the conditions have to be right for us to thrive as well. You can't just sit there and say, okay, I'm going to start thriving here in a little bit. I'm not thriving yet, but I'm sure I will. No, you gotta get books. Here's direct selling news, marketing, and ever evolving strategy. You gotta read stuff. You gotta learn every single day. You should be reading something, learning something, whether it's a book, whether it's a personal development, business development, an article online that talks about different strategies, whatever it might be. You gotta continually learn and educate yourself. That's one condition. You have to surround yourself with the right people. You have to have positive, uplifting people that believe in you, right? You have to have that kind of stuff to grow. If you don't, if you have people that are negative, if you have people that are like, hey, you can't do that. You're not smart enough. You're not, whatever. You're not good looking enough. You can't be a model. You're not, whatever. If you have those types of people around you, what do you think is going to happen? Probably not too much. You're not going to thrive. So conditions are extremely important to how you survive or thrive in what you're trying to do. Also, it talks about how the bark of the redwood is so resistant. It's resistant to fire. If there's a fire in a redwood forest, the bark of a redwood is about a foot thick on a mature tree, and it turns into some sort of like fire retardant shield is what they said. And so the chemical makeup and everything of the wood turns it into a fire retardant shield, so a redwood tree more than likely cannot be destroyed by a fire because it's got properties in it that help it keep the fire away, and it can't danger or can't hurt the interior of the tree and the foundation of the tree. So same thing, network marketer or any business, you got to have thick skin. Somebody says no, okay, go to the next person. Go talk to the next business. If someone says you're crazy, I think that's that's a pyramid scheme, or that is these guys they do it for free, or these guys they do it less expensive, or whatever it might be. They have more features, whatever it might be. You got to have thick skin to be able to succeed. You have to have that sort of thing. Also, redwood tree, they have the termites can't penetrate the tree. It has some sort of toxin in it, some poison basically, that ants and termites and bugs, so to speak, do not bother the redwood tree. Same sort of thing. You can't let the poisons out there get into you and affect this right here. You have to stay positive. Keep positive people around you. Also, a live redwood tree that is knocked over. Storms are going to come, right? You're going to get knocked over sometimes. Sometimes redwood trees get knocked over. But guess what happens to a live redwood tree that gets knocked over? All of a sudden, limbs that are pointing up, they start to grow and become a new tree. So, life lesson, right? We're all going to get knocked down. We're all going to have bad days, bad months, bad years, bad relationships sometimes too. We have to overcome these things. And so when you do get knocked down, don't stay down. You got to get up. You got to start regrowing and reaching up. You can't stay down, guys, in any part of your life, any aspect of your life. So, there's just a few things right there that kind of can relate a redwood tree to how we might want to the types of efforts we put into our business strategies. The most basic, simple concept of a redwood tree is this: you never find one by itself. A redwood tree you never find all by, like an oak tree, you might see one big oak tree out in the middle of the pasture, right? You will not find a redwood tree out in the middle of a pasture by itself. Why? Well, because they need another redwood tree to lock arms with. If you look at the root system of a redwood tree, and this is why they grow so large, this is why they last so long, is because they don't try and do it by themselves. There's always somebody, being a tree, there's always another tree that is, and I'm pulling up the image here, guys. There's always another tree that they lock arms with and help them. So if you can see that, hopefully it's big enough. But basically, that's the post we made on Facebook today. And you see two trees, and their roots are in the shape of two hands shaking. And so these two trees have a very tight-knit relationship with one another. And because of that, they are stronger for it. So you never find one by itself, guys. And in business, when you find a true leader, when you find somebody that is growing and thriving and making things happen, guess what? More than likely, he's not doing it by himself. He's got a partner, he's got a team, he's got a spouse that's very supportive. Whatever it might be, you've got somebody on your side, in your corner, helping you do what you're doing, keeping you on track, keeping you honest, keeping you positive. And that's what happens with the redwood tree as well, guys. Their root system all intermingle, intertwine together, and create a foundation and a support that the biggest storms cannot hurt. And so if you've got a partner, if you've got a spouse, if you've got somebody in your corner and you guys are on the same team, you've got the same vision, you're going in the same direction, your hands are like this, you cannot be knocked down. And if you do get knocked down, guess what? Whoop, picks you back up. That's why you need somebody with you. Talk to this person or these teammates every single day. Communicate. You should have some sort of daily call planned. It might be a hangout, it might be on a conference call, whatever it is, even if it's 5 minutes. Whatever it is, you should be talking with one another every single day, telling each other what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, keeping each other, what's the word I'm looking for? Jeff, what's the word I'm looking for?
Accountable.
Accountable. I forgot the big A word. You got to keep each other accountable. You have to. And so, in the redwoods do it automatically. Mother Nature, God created these redwood trees and of course, perfection, right? But we're not perfect. We need all the help we can get. And so if you've got partners or a team, communicate with them daily, keep each other, the A word, accountable, and make sure you guys have the same vision and are working towards the same goal. So there's the big secret, guys, for the redwood. There's quite a few things, but the main basic fundamental of a redwood is you'll never find one standing by itself. It's always in multiples, and that's how they thrive. That's their secret to growth, is they're not alone. They grow with other redwoods. You will grow with other team members with the same goal, with the same vision, going in the same direction. So that's my little talk today. Jeff, anything to add that you'd like to mention before we close?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Again, it goes back to it's the relationships, and I talked really about relationships when it comes to marketing, but you covered relationships when it comes to building your team. You've got to have the relationship with those people. You've got to have trust. You've got to hold each other accountable. And so I think this business is a lot about relationships, but in different ways.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for being here. Jeff, thank you so much for your time and for your message. It was wonderful. Guys, create wonderful relationships, have similar goals, and make sure you're providing value. Don't hurt the relationship by sell, push. Provide value, create that relationship, let it just build, and what you'll find is that you're going to be successful, and your reach is going to be a lot stronger and a lot further reaching especially when it comes to social media, if you're following that sort of formula. So guys, thanks for being here today. We'll be here the same time and same place next week.